What's going on, my turkeys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have some Reynatis news, the game that randomly dropped out of nowhere, where initially Kingdom Hearts fans were thinking, is this Verum Rex? I can confirm that this is not Verum Rex. It doesn't have anything to do with Kingdom Hearts. It very much is its own thing, but there are definitely some very strong Kingdom Hearts, Yozora, Verum Rex-esque vibes going on. Without a doubt, you just cannot deny that, and that's great. Hey, I love inspired projects. However, we do know that there are actually some Kingdom Hearts Square Enix connections to this project. Both Nojima as well as Shimamura, who have had direct ties to both Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, are actually backing this project. In case you guys don't know about this and haven't watched the first video, I do suggest that you do that. I'll leave that in the description down below. Check that out. That'll give you sort of a basic idea as to exactly what Reynatis is kind of about. But this has flown under people's radars because it was revealed during a Japanese Nintendo Direct and not for the international Direct. This sometimes happens for Japanese exclusive games, and as of right now, Reynatis is only slated to release on the 25th of July this year over in Japan. So we're crossing our fingers that Furyu, the guys responsible for this game, do end up finding an international publisher, because already there is massive outcry on the internet for the team to bring this outside of Japan. However, recently, Shimamura, Nojima, and the director of Reynatis, Takumi Isobe, sat down with Famitsu to talk about the game, providing us with a little bit more context towards it. Now, the first thing that should be known is the reason why there is some very apparent sort of Kingdom Hearts vibes going on is because Isobe is very much a Kingdom Hearts fan. His favorite types of video games are dark fantasy as well as action RPG, and he did, in fact, grow up playing Kingdom Hearts. Now, this honestly brings a little bit of a tear to my eye to know that we are now in a position where, like, the next generation of video game developers are starting to pop up. People that obviously grew up with the games that we grew up with, and that going forward, there will start to be video games that are inspired by the video games we played growing up. And to know that there are going to be Kingdom Hearts inspired video games in the future, because I do believe that Kingdom Hearts is certainly one of the best examples of an action RPG done right, really is nothing short of simply chef kiss 5 Michelin stars. Takumi Isobe is fresh blood when it comes to the video game industry. He's relatively new to the director's seat, being known only for Trinity Trigger thus far. So I do feel like this could potentially be maybe his big breakthrough, the first thing that really blows out of the water, especially because he does have both Nojima and Shimamura working on this project. And what an incredible feeling to know that he grew up playing Kingdom Hearts. Now he's got 2 of the names behind Kingdom Hearts helping him out with his own video game. They decided to use the setting of Shibuya because it is a recognizable location. I think this is the main reason why a lot of different video game developers, for if they want to set their video game in Japan somewhere, they end up using the Scramble Crossing Shibuya, as it is recognizable. You look at that and straight away you think, okay, this game is set in Japan. And speaking of Shibuya and the setting, they are literally going to have real-life stores that actually do exist in Shibuya in this game. He wants to try have a really realistic representation of the location within Reynatis. Now, generally speaking, this is kind of a hard process because in order to have these different brands and stores represented in forms of media, you need permission, right? You need a license to be able to use them. So I guess this tells us that Furyu are going to literally try their best to acquire as many permissions as possible from all of the different stores located in Shibuya so that it can actually represent them in Reynatis. Already we can see Hisamitsu, which is a pharmaceutical company, Big Camera, which is an electronics store in Japan, and UC, which is a stock credit card company. Of course, the 109 building is also there. That does tend to appear in a lot of other games that feature Shibuya as a location, but just simply looking at a lot of the other well-known geographically accurate stores that are actually in Shibuya are here in Reynatis. So it really looks like the team have done the absolute best job they can with having a very one-to-one representation of this part of Tokyo for the game. The game is in fact divided up into chapters, so it is going to be a chapter-based system. I know that I sort of pitched the idea of the drop gauge, kind of happy it's not, but again, I think it is a unique sort of gimmick and would be interesting, especially with the setup of the two playable characters that we have in this. However, it will be chapters, so one chapter you'll be playing as Marin, the next chapter you'll be playing as Sari. Of course, eventually, their paths will cross. This game is set up in a way where you are playing as two characters who are on polar opposite sides of the fence. And to reiterate, this is a world where there are magic users known as wizards or magicians. However, for most of the populace, they are not magic users, and looking at magic users, they are generally envied, hated, and feared. Sari is a magic enforcer. She is basically a police officer that keeps people that have magical abilities at bay, stopping people from doing harmful things using their magic. In this society, in this world, it is not really a cool thing to have magic powers, and if it's found out that you do have magic powers, you will be looked down upon. From Marin's perspective, the other playable character, we are a magic user that has to conceal our identity and hide the fact that we can use magic from the populace. So you'll constantly have this back and forth of playing in Marin's shoes, where Sari is the antagonist, and then going into Sari's shoes, where Marin is the antagonist. Asobi explains that the themes of Reynatis are both oppression and liberation. He explains that we very much do live in this world where there are standardized normalities and a lot of peer pressures to look, think, and act a specific kind of way. We live in a world where it really is quite hard to be able to express your true self without the fear of judgment. Now, for most of us living in westernized culture, it's not so, I guess, tense to be able to express yourself. We have a little bit more freedom, but certainly in other cultures around the world, there is a very strict rule set on how you should present yourself and exactly how you should think and feel. This, of course, creates a lot of tension and a lot of stress for the individual. And especially if we are looking at Japanese culture, there very much is a to-be-expected way to act, think, and look. He mentions that this title embodies the idea that I want everyone to express their individuality more, and is a title that appeals to people who want to express their individuality, but just simply can't. This, of course, relates to the character of Marin, who is a magic user, but he's oppressed. He cannot actually show who he truly is without the fear of being judged. And Asobi directly relates to this. He mentions that his appearance quite often gets judged to the populace, mainly because he has different colored hair. So I didn't really initially think at first, because this game is coming from not really a well-known name, being Furyu, that okay, like, it's probably not going to have some deep kind of theme, but there's a very relatable, very deep theme going on here. When Asobi was thinking about who he could have to help assist to bring this idea and concept to light in the form of a video game narrative, he thought instantly about Nojima and Shimamura to help assist with the project, even going as far as to say that without these two, he simply could not bring this to fruition. He needed both Nojima and Shimamura to help him portray the themes of boys and girls living in the darkness, struggling to express themselves. And finally, there will be a brand new trailer for Reynatis on the 26th of February, so just in a few days' time. This trailer is going to focus on the gameplay and the world of the game. I'm interested to just see more, because that initial reveal trailer was very short, only being 1 minute. Kind of hard to cram a lot of content into 1 minute. I also am unsure about, like, does the gameplay look good, because we haven't really seen too much of it. Like, it's an action RPG, we know that, but is it one that feels good to play? And especially because it is coming from Furyu, not a really that well-known development team, it's going to be interesting to see if they can make an action RPG that really does feel good. So this new trailer will hopefully provide us with a little bit more insight towards that, and also just to see how the world is set up. We know that the majority of the game looks like it's taking place in Tokyo Shibuya, but it looks like there is also some other areas too that perhaps are otherworldly. We've seen this one little gameplay clip here of the character fighting in a forest. Perhaps maybe there are portals or something like that that take you to different locations that are more fantasy-esque. So as of right now, that's all you need to know about Reynatis. If you guys want to keep up to date on this game, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We will be talking about it more when that new trailer drops. However, guys, as always, thank you so much to my wonderful patrons. You guys are simply incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Be sure to follow me on my other social media platforms. With all that being said, I'm Cynical. Hopefully having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.